Hey everyone, Megan and I have just been on a little walk out, and that's why we're looking like this. Well, Megan much better than me, but we've just done about a 4.5 kilometer walk, and during our walk we were discussing working dogs and working breeds. And we thought it might make an interesting discussion to have with you about working dogs and what kind of breeds are those ones to select for actually fit for purpose almost. So, let's start with farm dogs, Megs. Which sort of dogs would, if I had a farm and I wanted to herd cattle or I wanted to herd sheep, we spoke about that as well.
Yes.
Which kind of breeds would be best suited to that?
So obviously most of your collies are obviously great for sheep herding and things like that. That's literally what they're bred for, and they're extremely intelligent. I think what makes them really special with the sheep herding specifically is that they're able to learn a hell of a lot of words. So you can get really complicated with giving them instructions and telling them where to go, how far to go, to separate the herd, to bring them back, to put them here. You can really get kind of in depth with the instructions that you give them in order to assist you with the herding of the sheep. And yeah, with regards to some of the other breeds, a lot of people you'll find will have the bigger breeds.
Anatolian Shepherd?
Yes, so the Anatolian Shepherd traditionally it's actually quite a scary breed. They're these huge kind of shepherd bear looking type dogs. And traditionally they were left in the kraal with the herd of sheep to be raised almost like a lamb. And usually they only had contact with one other person, which was usually the farmer. And what would happen then, they would live with this herd of sheep. So they stay in the kraal with it, and what happens is they start identifying that herd as their kind of pack, and they will do anything to protect that herd of sheep. So what happens is that dog then lives with the herd, and the only person that can really handle that dog is the farmer, and I'm suspecting with a little bit of difficulty even after that. And what that dog then does is protects that herd from livestock theft. It protects them from jackals, hyenas, any sort of predator that comes in there, unfortunately, will get wiped out quite quickly by the Anatolian, which is really interesting. It's quite a cool dog, yeah.
And the Anatolian is a proper farm dog.
Real farm dog.
I haven't actually seen any Anatolians around here. I do know somebody that has 2 of them on the farm, and they are actually proper farm dogs.
Yes.
They work a dog. That's what they are.
Yes.
But then, having said that, a lot of people do have collies, and collies, do they need work? Can they, they need training when they're even in a garden, right? They need to actually do some kind of play and work.
Exactly, because they're such kind of sweet and pretty dogs. A lot of people forget that they are working dogs, and they need a hell of a lot of stimulation. So it's not just exercise. It's not really going to cut it, to go for an hour's walk once a day. They need to be stimulated all the time. They get very focused on things. They need to be playing. They need to be working. Taking instruction, and they just need to be active all the time and have their brain working, because otherwise they become quite destructive. They have got a lot of energy, so if you don't find a healthy and kind of good way for them to express it, you end up with a collie now that'll start digging holes in your garden, or start chasing the neighbor's cat, or chewing things, and then what ends up happening, these dogs often end up getting left in the backyard because the owners get frustrated, not understanding that the dog needs a hell of a lot of stimulation, and every single day. You can't do it once a week, you can't do it on weekends, you have to do it every day.
Unlimited energy.
Correct, yeah.
Sorry, there's a mower going in the back here. That also has to be done, so I suppose we'll just have to speak a bit louder. Oh, it's going away, yay. So, and the other thing that as we were walking, so just closer to home now, instead of the farms, as we were walking in the street, there was a person with a Belgian Malinois walking past, a puppy, and we started talking about that. And Megan, you said that they also need a lot of stimulation, they need a lot of work, because you said one of your friends had one, right?
Yes, correct. So again, they are working dogs. Usually you'll find that they mostly get used in police forces or security, because again, they're highly intelligent, they're very strong, very active dogs, and they really do have boundless energy. Very similar to the collie in that regard. They do need very strict training. You need to get your commands down with them, and you need to spend pretty much every hour with them at home. My friend's dog, they spend 3 hours a day playing in the garden,
stimulating the dog,
literally just trying to tire the dog out, which doesn't actually happen. I think the humans get tired out first, and then everyone just kind of goes to bed. So all of your working breeds ready. So that's your Malinois, your collies, even your shepherds, that sort of thing. They do need to be worked with and stimulated all the time. They're bred to work, and if they're not working, they go nuts.
Yes, and then our next video will be on guard dogs and
Yes.
the best breed to be guarding properties. But just why we wanted to talk about this is because working dogs need work. They need work from us as the owners, and they actually need enough stimulation. So
Yeah.
it's probably a good suggestion to, if you can't work with them all day or play with them all day, to maybe send them to a day school or
Exactly,
somewhere
yeah.
where they can interact with other people and other dogs and really
Exactly.
play, hopefully until they're tired.